Good morning, Charlie here with Red Summit RF. Well, this morning we are on Saddle Mountain. It's a little bit chilly, probably about 35-40 degrees right now. I am going to do a SOTA POTA activation, both SOTA and POTA. Behind me you'll see the highest summit in Arizona, Humphreys Peak. And I'm going to be on top of this summit for a while doing this. I'm going to go over 10 tips for POTA SOTA excursions. So stay tuned, coming up. Roger that, K3011. This is November Juliet 7 Victor. You are also 5'9" here in Coconino National Forest. This is also a summit on the air activation, Whiskey 7 Alpha, Alpha Echo 023, K4428, K4428 Coconino National Forest. Over.
Alright, Charlie. You're got a really great signal here at Fort Richardson State Park, Texas. Have a good day.
73.
November Juliet 7 Victor, KA5CRL, clear with you.
Okay, 2 stations there. Let's go with Whiskey 8 Sugar, Charlie Sugar. You are 5 by 5, 5 by 5, over.
Copy the 5 by 5. I got you about a 5-7 into Michigan. Thanks for activating.
Thank you for Michigan, 73.
73.
Okay, there was another station. Go ahead.
November 4, Delta, Juliet, Hotel.
Okay, November 4, question mark Juliet. Go ahead again. Okay, is that November 4 Delta Juliet? If so, it's a 5x5, 5x5 in Arizona. Over. QSL, Roger, thanks for the 5-1 Florida, and I got your full call, and November 4 Delta Juliet Hotel, 73. Two stations again, India Charlie Papa.
Kilo 9, India Charlie Papa.
Roger, Kilo 9 India Charlie Papa, 5-7 in Arizona.
Roger, I'll give you a 5-7 Indiana. You're coming in great here.
Okay, thank you so much for Indiana, 73.
73.
Okay, so the 10 tips that I wanted to cover today are coming up here. So the first one, actually the first 5 have to do with things you need to do before you get to the activation zone, and then there's another 5 tips that you need to do, or that you should do when you're in the activation zone or in the area where you're going to activate. So tip number 1 is let somebody know where you're going. This is always important, whether or not you're going to go just hiking, or you're going a backpacking trip, whether you're just going for a drive to a park and setting up anytime you are leaving and you're going to be away, you should let somebody know where you're at. Number 2 is to have a plan, especially if you're going to do like a longer hike or a backpacking trip. You want to be able to know what your route is, have a plan for how to get there, have a plan for how to get out, and just kind of think about all the scenarios that might happen. This still applies for parks on the air. You want to have a plan. You may be able to be a little less formal, a little less rigid when you go and do a Parks on the Air activation, but you still should have a plan. Number 3 is check the weather and be prepared for it to change. Oftentimes we get out there and we see a forecast and we're having a good time, but then all of a sudden the weather might change. I have been on a summit before where there was no rain in the forecast. I was up on top. I drove up a very steep dirt road, activated, and then on the way down a big microburst came through just as I arrived at my truck. If I had arrived at my truck just, I don't know, a minute or 2 later, I probably wouldn't have been able to get out, because I was going down a very muddy, wet road and I was sliding all over the place, and it was pretty dangerous. So you want to make sure you check your weather forecast and be prepared for it to change. Number 4 is ensure that you have permission to be where you're planning on going. Private property can be a big issue, and we want to make sure that we are being good stewards and representing summits on the air and parks on the air well by not trespassing or being someplace that we shouldn't be. Number 5 is carry the 10 essentials, especially when you're going backpacking or hiking out into a remote area, or even driving out into a remote area. But especially when you're backpacking and hiking, you need to take those 10 essentials with you. Even if you're just doing a local park, it doesn't hurt to throw everything in, all the 10 essentials into your truck. It's not like you have to pack them around if you're just doing a drive up on Summits on the Air or just doing a park activation. So make sure you carry those 10 essentials. If you don't know what those 10 essentials are, just do a search for it. I think I'll put something up here at some point. Actually, it's up here. I'll put something up there at some point. Add a card with a video of me going over the 10 essentials. Hasn't been made yet, but I'll put it up there at some point. Okay, so number 6 through number 10 are all things that you should do once you arrive. So number 6, make sure you take in the beauty and enjoy the fact that you're out in nature. Enjoy it. Number 7 is set up your system, especially your antenna, away from foot traffic. There's a couple of reasons why. One, you don't want to put out your antenna or even operate really with your coax in a way where somebody might be able to trip over it or step or run into it. It's important to move away from an area where there is a lot of foot traffic. But secondly, oftentimes we set up in a place where maybe we are obstructing a beautiful view that people are hiking to the top of a mountain to see, and there we have the antenna and they can't take good pictures. So just move off to the side. That's why we have activation zones, so there's plenty of room to not have to take up maybe an area where a lot of people are at and wanting to enjoy nature. Number 8 is spot yourself. I know there's people that really enjoy not spotting themselves, and it is a good challenge, and something I enjoy doing from time to time is just getting on the air, start calling CQ and seeing if somebody can find me and spot me. But when you're new, it's probably a good idea for you to spot yourself, especially for summits on the air. You really need to do that. If you don't, you may end up sending CQ for a long time and you may not get any contacts. So at least to make it fun for yourself initially, why don't you go ahead and spot yourself to make sure you let people know where you're at so you can have a good experience. Number 9 is make sure you give chasers or hunters enough opportunity to work you. When you set up, sometimes you do need to make a quick run up to a summit or a quick run to the park. Just get a few out. You just get your 4 for summits on the air, your 10 for parks on the air, and then you need to pack up and get out of there because you have an appointment. It's just you just wanted to squeeze something in real quick. Or there's other reasons too, but for the most part, try to avoid that. Make sure that you're on a summit or in a park for a good amount of time. And make sure you're on each band for a good amount of time, because people want to be able to chase you and hunt you, but sometimes you may not be on a band that is a band that works for the distance that they are from you. Sometimes certain bands are open and others aren't. And so spend a good amount of time on each band, and also spend a good amount of time while you're there operating. Okay, and number 10 is watch the weather. Yeah, I said number 5 was watch the weather, but that was more prepare for the weather and make sure that you know what the weather forecast is going to be. But number 10, I'm kind of reiterating weather again. You're set up and you're operating in a park and a thunderstorm comes through. You don't want to be underneath an antenna when a lightning strikes. You don't want to be able to have your equipment ruined in the rain. You may have an awning and it's not tied down, and the wind might start gusting and take your awning away. Just watch the weather while you're operating and make sure that you address any changes that might take place, and be safe out there. Okay, that's going to be about it. The 10 tips that I offer for you that you might want to consider when you're doing your SOTA or POTA excursions. So I'm going to say 73 to you guys. Thank you so much for watching the channel and watching the videos. I appreciate the kind comments that you put in the comments below, and also all the interaction I get with you on social media. I enjoy that because I learn from you guys, and I appreciate the education that I get and all the comments. So with that, if you like this video, check out over here on my right. You can see more videos like this one, and subscribe up, and down below there's a link to help keep this channel ad-free if you'd like to do that. So 73 guys, take care.